Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another live stream event with Missy Jen, Rosie girl here. We thought in light of the Paradise, California fire, the Woolsey fire, we would go back in time 11 and a half months to see what's changed, see what's going on, see what's being built, see what's not being built. After the great Santa Rosa fire of the 8th and 9th of 2017, October 8th and 9th, certainly days Missy Jen and I will never forget. I'm driving, there's CHP, somebody got nailed. I'm going to allow or get Missy Jen to keep an eye on the chat. Nice to see all of you. Hey Elf, how you doing? Nice to see you. And the first place we're gonna visit is a place. Hey, how you doing, Roy? The first place we're going to visit, now this happened 11 and a half months ago, and Missy Jen and I never imagined in our wildest dreams, ever, that another place in California would suffer the catastrophe that this city did. We never imagined that it would happen.
Robin.
And what happened last week, Paradise, California, in that area, we lost 6,000 homes in 6 hours. They've lost 12,000 homes. So twice the scale. Over 1,000 people still missing. People always ask us, how can it happen? Why does that stuff happen in California? Well, we hope today by taking you up to some of the terrain and some of the areas here that you'll get an exact idea of why things happen here. And the main thing is we don't get any rain between mid-April till late November, sometimes December. Hi Tara, hi everybody.
Hello, Oda.
Therefore, with the heat and everything, all the vegetation that grows in the rainy season, which can be heavy, presents a tremendous fire risk to the whole area. So we're going to start today with, and then all it takes is a down power line. We're going to start today in an area called Mark West Springs here. It was a middle to well-to-do neighborhood on the east side of town, as most things are wealthy, tend to be on the east side of town. We're on the west side of town. But we'll show you where the fire swept over the hill and came down into this community, and people literally had, what, Jen, just minutes to grab, sheriffs and firemen were just banging on doors. There was no way to fight the fire. It was just too
Just knock, get out.
Just get out, blaring the loud hailer on the top. I mean, people just frightened out of their mind. Charles Schultz, the famed creator of Peanuts, lived up in the hills here. He passed on in 2000, but his wife fled in the night. His widow hardly grabbed anything. So we're going to turn this around now. And we're going to head into the Mark West area and see what's going on in the way of rebuilding. Now, you can imagine some of the problems that occur when you're a city the size of Santa Rosa, 200,000 people, and all of a sudden you have a building department and a permit department. It's kind of a lazy sort of, a plum job to get, and all of a sudden you're swamped. 6 guys working there are swamped with hundreds and hundreds of applications to rebuild. If you look ahead of us, you can see the hills straight ahead. You can see a little bit of building. But the people that live down in this community on the evening of the 8th and the 9th, we had just made our way back from Lake Tahoe on a really nice visit up there, and the winds were fierce that evening, and the winds drove the fire over the hill ahead and down into this community. And nobody really had time to do anything except get out with their with what they could. Some people have been able to rebuild and start the process. Other people are underinsured and they don't have the financial wherewithal to rebuild. Some people that live in the high hill areas here, they are too scared to rebuild, because the same fire that happened in October of 2017 happened in 1964, almost the same footprint. So if it can happen once, it happens twice, and these people just say, oh, hell no. So Mark West, which is what we're driving around now, it looks like just a new city going up, huh, Jen? Here, and if you look at some of our earlier drone flights that we had over the area, it was totally down to the ground. Now you think all you have to do is just remove the home structures, but a lot of the infrastructure burned. You can see their old pool was over to the left there. The problem is all the soil was contaminated, so to make these sites buildable again, you had to remove all of the debris, and you had to also scrape off 6 inches of topsoil and take that all away and put in all new power infrastructure and all that. So it looks like that Mark West, hello everybody, I'm asking Missy Jen to monitor the chat here. I'm just going to give just my opener because we're going to be rolling around a bit here today. But this is the area that's the most rebuilt. I think these people had the resources. They feel like they're relatively safe from something like this ever happening again. Hello. So people that were underinsured are a huge problem. It's also who's going to pay. You know, the insurance companies that are paying out, they want to collect.
Hi, Laura.
They want to collect. And then last week we had all the drama of Pacific Gas and Electric, who's the provider here, was starting to collapse on the New York Stock Exchange because people thought, oh my God, they're not going to be able to handle the liabilities of this fire. They're going to go bankrupt. Now remember, they went bankrupt in 1981, 1982. This is a really bad place to be a utility company, really bad place. Why do they build with wood? Well, wood is always the structure, and you know, wood with stucco over top of it because wood is so plentiful in the West. What's not plentiful is stone and brick and things like that. And when Missy, Jen, and I went around to some of the areas immediately after the fire, we had our press passes and were able to get through. We were appalled that some of the richest homes were the poorest construction. Slap and tickle with chicken wire over top of, you know, wood framing and exterior stucco. It's unbelievable. So I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with the way that Mark West Springs, as we leave this area and go down, and then we'll start climbing to the high hills. That's where the people are that have the real issues of should we even rebuild, because of a lot of these people are traumatized. Yeah, they put electricity above ground because it was the capital cost of doing that in PG&E's eyes. The gas and electric company is just too high. It's just too high to bury this. And it's not these individual lines. You see those high powered, high tension lines above. They're 250,000 volts and up. Those lines. If a tree hits into one of them and knocks one of them down, they hit the ground snaking around and they're sparking, and that's what really starts
It's amazing
the
how
fire.
many houses
Yeah, it's
are
amazing here how much is being rebuilt, because we've got we got builders from all over the nation here. Now they're going to be moving on to Paradise, and it's just, there's a shortage of builders because a lot of people said, oh, you don't need to go to trade schools. Everybody's going to be a college student on a computer. Well, now we see that there's just not enough people.
There are a lot of concrete foundations poured.
A lot of foundations, but there's still some empty lots here where people just don't have the wherewithal. Yeah, running through trees, that's right.
Well,
yeah, well,
it
takes a lot of, you got to understand, you know, some people say those cheap mofos, PG&E, but you have an enormous service area with 20 million people or something you're serving. I mean, it's as big as most of the countries in the world. And you've got to worry about every tree. And think of what else PG&E has to worry about, the gas electric company. The people that refuse to let them come onto the property and trim the trees. See, PG&E can't force itself onto your property, and you have some eco nuts. And this Trump was right. Trump was right, whether people like to hear it or not. Trump was correct that California has mismanaged its forestry resources. with all the environmental shit. Instead of clearing and logging and doing things that make sense, it hasn't been done around here. And everybody's paying the price for that now. So he was correct, whether people like to hear it or not. Just like a guy came out, an attorney that's hired by the Santa Rosa City Council to audit the police department. He happened to make a statement about the homeless here in Santa Rosa, and all the efforts they've made, all the millions of dollars poured into the homeless, hasn't made a dent in the problem. Boy, did they explode on the Santa Rosa City Council. They sure didn't want to hear that. Boy, Missy Jan, they went nuts. There's somebody living in their RV while they're rebuilding.
Yeah.
Boy, they didn't want to hear that. Did they, Missy Jan? They went nuts, the City Council. Well, you know, it is what it is.
But it's the truth.
You provide housing, you provide food and stuff. It's like honey to bees. Now, I'm not saying, you know, Jesus said feed the poor, but he didn't say feed the shiftless. And that's where I come down on the whole thing. You know, you put the things out there, the services, the housing, and that stuff will be gobbled up, and all you'll have is more people coming into the area, which we've had. Because people are allowed to sleep in their cars during this emergency.
Yeah.
And I think the people from Paradise are coming in this week to look at Santa Rosa as kind of a model to how you recover from such an epic catastrophe. So we'll head out of here. Yeah, I'm glad to stream. I'm so happy to stream. I've solved a lot of those freaking issues with pixelation, and thank you Verizon, and thank you Joey D and my good friend Chimey, those that contributed. Hi Luna, how are you, sweetie?
Hi Luna.
We're gonna head up to the high areas. Thank you too, JK, for your tremendous generosity. We love you. We're gonna head up to the hill areas now, but JK can shed some light. He's been involved in rebuilding and intimately aware of the bottlenecks that construction encounters here. But the building department here gets so overwhelmed that they actually gave they gave a freeway approach. If you're a builder that's a recognized builder in Santa Rosa and you have plans on the shelf that have been approved before, and they're using a lot of a few models to just keep things going here, then you didn't need to go through special permitting to begin the process. So I think we'll run up Mark West Springs a little bit, Jen. This is where the fire roared through the valley into this.
This was all gone.
Into this particular community. It's on the other side too. It's both sides of the road, but this is the valley up ahead. Thank you, Richard. Hashtag Richard R. Appreciate it, Richard.
Hi,
Thank
Richard.
you. Very sweet of
Thank you.
Ella Bella, how are you? Original Al.
Hugs and kisses.
Straight ahead of us on the right, it's other areas that have been burned and nothing much has been done in the way of rebuilding. This community was one of the lucky ones. Here, we'll go a little way. This is the valley opening where the fire roared through that night. Just swept through here with 70, 80 miles. You can see a lot of the trees are still burned here. This was just hell. They called this the highway to hell that night. There were people fleeing for their lives and lost everything. There's a lot of these communities. These people can afford to rebuild. See some rebuilding on the left and right here. So we got some things to see. It's particularly interesting in the high area because the people in the high altitudes, the higher you go, the more you pay for your home because the views, you get the views out in the valley, but the risks are higher. The building risks are higher. The fire risks are higher. Now you have people that just second guess themselves and wonder if they should be living. All to the right here was all burned out up here. People on the hills.
Still cleaning and clearing out the trees.
There's still debris being cleared up. This was all like a wind tunnel that swept the fire into the city of Santa Rosa here. From Napa County. You can see the tree. If you want to see what it looked like a couple days in the immediate aftermath, you can go look down on the front page, my channel front page, to the playlist of the Great Santa Rosa Fire. You can see some of the extreme damage that day after and how, Jen, I didn't even know if the city would be able to recover.
It's a miracle that
the mayor just stood there and shook his head.
It's a miracle that the city actually
I think it was survived briefly, but there's the canyon ahead. You can see that whole canyon. It was just this is an area that burned. You can see some of the burn sites.
Oh, yes.
All of you, we went down through a really deep valley. No cell service down there at all. We're now making our way up to the ridge areas here. Thomas Lake Harris.
Here's the golf course.
There's the golf course up there. Yeah, I think we'll make our way around here. See, there's not much rebuilt up here because these people were pretty terrified.
Yep, that's all still the same.
All exactly, almost exactly the same.
Everything's still the same.
Everything's still the same
all
up here.
Untouched.
Go all up in there, Jen, these courts. Nobody's done a damn thing up here.
Somebody over there.
Yeah, but if you want these big, beautiful views up here, they come with a very high cost. And the cost is when shit catches on fire, the fire department's probably not going to be able to bail your ass out. And that's the reality.
Yeah, they didn't want the fire department.
Also, years ago, this area, they fought having a fire department up here. They thought it ruined the aesthetics of the area to have a fire department. Thank God, forced the issue through, but it's still like a. You would wonder why. So should have cell towers. Let's get out this valley. Here's this valley where we shot the video from the side over here. I'll give you guys a peek down. There's people actually playing golf. Show you guys. We'll get you on foot for a minute here. Put you on the stick and get you out mobile a little bit. Our signal's a little sketch up here. God. If you look across the way there's still a lot of empty sites. This was what they called the Valley of Fire. This person's really lucky. Right here, really lucky. We'll take you up. We'll show you the Miracle House too. This is the price you pay for the big views. Take a look at this valley. It's got to be awful to just lose everything and come back to nothing. We're going to be heading up on that ridge up there and taking a look up there. I'm keeping Jen inside of the van. I've got the air recirculating in there today, being filtered. Unreal, isn't it? 11 months later. I have to be careful none of this collapses here. I don't know, it seems like we've lost the chat, but I'm going to keep going here. I don't know what happened. It's like we lost the chat. All right, guys, I'm going to restart the phone and see if I can pick up the chat again. So give me a minute here. All right, guys, we are live. Missy Jen, we're back. I have no idea what happened. Verizon had a big fart, or the phone did.
Yeah, somebody said something about YouTube crashed.
YouTube crashed. Something happened. So it's been doing that a bit late. The Sky Farm. Well, it's a good thing you guys are back, because this is the really fancy, dancy, bancy area here. And sorry for the loss. I don't know. It's like YouTube crashed or something. I don't know. It's just lost. We're going to climb the hills here. Missy Jenny, as we see things, if you see anything like the burn areas up here. Sorry, we are back. I have no idea what happened there. We're climbing up to some of the real... These are the people. You'll find that very little has been done up here.
There's a water tank.
Yeah, all they done is clear the sites, but the fights with insurance companies and Douglas, give you guys an idea of the views.
Oh, that's the lake down there.
Yeah, that's Thomas Howard's Lake. Yeah, get some beautiful views.
Look at the
more
air
chaparral.
quality. The air quality is terrible. Crap.
We'll make up with. Some people were lucky. This person seemed to have a protective zone. If you had vineyards planted around you, you made out okay. You survived it. Vineyards were excellent fire breaks. That's why only really one winery burned, the Paradise Ridge.
The fire hit the fence.
Yeah, the fire hit the fence and get up there. Let's see ahead here. Yeah, sorry about loss of shit happens, right? Here, some little bit of building going on down there. Now they're actually making out of concrete down here, Jen, and I'll take a second to just pull over here. We'll take a look at this. They're actually using concrete down here. Take a little walk around. We screwed up in the other area here. It's a clear. I thought that they had poured new walls, but nothing done here either. Nothing. You think that the other real surprise that people had, and this shocked a lot of people, if you think that you can just use your existing foundation, you can't. Everybody's foundation had to be demolished and removed because the fire had compromised the integrity of the high heat, had stressed the concrete and the cement. YouTube crashed again. Jesus. Okay, are you guys seeing me okay here? Okay, Beck said yes. Thank you, Beck. We'll continue going up higher up here. We got some higher altitude stuff to see. There's nothing done down there. Nothing, just the basic clearing. Yeah, I think there's something going on the YouTube side because sometimes the chat is showing and sometimes Sunday evenings is when they like to do some of their experimental crap. Missy Jen, Missy Jen, you flew a drone up here several times. Now here's a person who just wants to sell.
Yep.
Right there,
sell, and get rid of it.
Let's take a look at their site here. Let's see what they got over here for sale, guys. This could be interesting. Also give you a good look down the valley too. Jen, you stay put with the air quality. Here's what they put on after the US EPA puts this on the site after it's met the requirements. First thing they did was come around for a buck. First thing they did was come around and remove any propane tanks, gasoline thing, anything that could be hazardous, they cleared off. No entry for demolition unless approved by owner. Man, look at this, like a war zone. There's the swimming pool down there. Remember, this is 11 months later. All this foundation has to be removed, everything. Imagine how nice it was to have that pool and that hot tub there. Isn't that, Beryl? Yeah, Paradise was on double the scale. Jen and I, as I said at the beginning of the live stream, Larson, we never imagined in our wildest dreams that something could be twice as bad as Santa Rosa. We didn't think anything could ever surpass that in California. It was so horrifying. And then that came along. Well, most of these people, the big issue they have, John, should we rebuild here? Should we risk another fire sweeping up these hills and through these canyons here? That's the big issue. That's what scares the living hell out of people. Insurance companies, a lot of these people were very underinsured too. I mean, these people really had the life though. This was obviously a garage here. The rebar. Imagine the view from your swimming pool. You have like an infinity pool there. Had their lanterns hanging in the tree. Yeah, I seriously think about moving because between fires and earthquakes, I think this is the most dangerous place to live in America. Look over, this whole valley was just a wall of flames coming through here. So few of the homes have been rebuilt. Yeah, I really do think about moving Jen and just selling and moving on, but she loves the rancho so much. You know, it would break her heart to leave it. She's like the boss lady. So I have to respect that. I can't just think about myself. I need to take Jen into consideration in a big way, which I'm happy to do. Trust me. This is really a harrowing sight to see these chairs sitting here in this bench. Look at that. There's your screenshot of the day. Your screensaver. All this has to be removed if there's going to be any rebuilding. No foundations can stay. Yeah, there's better ranchos. There are, Warren. It's just that, you know, Jen's particularly attached to this place, and you know, for me, it's an easy decision. But like I said, it's also Missy Jen. Not much left, eh? Not much left. So I can understand. That's right, and I'm going to always be too. Thank you. She's a huge part of my decision-making process. She's a gigantic part of it. Yeah, I don't know, John Doe. My guess would be no. The scale of it is just too big. Not to offend you, but I'm not really qualified. But the thing is, you have to maintain vegetation-free zones around these houses. But it's a little hard to do. All this stuff would just go up in flames again. Now, this is months later. No, this is 13 and a half months later. 13 months later. You dug a fire line, that's smart. See, there's nothing left down there, all just shells. So the richest people, I think, have the biggest decisions to make, and some of these people got to hurt the absolute worst here. Sewer pipe drainage stub out for that. I'm just hooking up the external power. We're gonna head up the hill a little more. I wonder what happened to YouTube. Farted that hard on here. I was getting ready to blame T-Mobile. Kmart did not rebuild. Nope. Corporation is so financially stressed, there's just no way. You know, other Eddie Lampert, Kmart, Sears, there's just not the money. And we really love that Kmart too. Even though they only ever lit half. Let's catch up with the Missy now. Brings back a lot of memories, especially with all that haze. Yeah, they're gonna be closing mall. Sears is. I worked in Sears 1970, 77. They were the cat's meow. I still remember my employee number, 13110. My best friend Janet worked there for years. All right, let's catch up with the Missy and keep heading up the hill here. There's the big water tank up there. I guess they figure if they could have just blown that thing that night, they might have saved a lot of homes. But the railroads, yeah. I guess it's all a matter of capital, John Doe. I mean, who's going to put the money into something of public benefit? You know, we got people climbing over the wall in Mexico, and you know, this state has a high degree of compassion, whatever that means. All right, Jan, you want to hold the stick? It's just a question of who would pay for it, but Trump was right about forest management. This state is just piss poor. Great views through the Valley of Death down there. That was just like one fireball alley, like a bowling alley of fire coming down there.
What was the death toll in Santa Rosa?
43.
43.
Now you have over 1,000 missing, plus 70 dead in Paradise.
Check that out there.
See, that's all see, you do see the odd home being rebuilt here and there, but not much.
Yeah, a lot on the other side. On this side over here, it's just nothing.
Nothing, because you're fighting with insurance companies. You're trying to sell. You'll see a lot of these are for sale. These people just like, get me the hell out of here. I'm not rebuilding. I'm never going through that again. And you can't blame them. I mean, we were in a relatively safe area. We were packed up 3 times, ready to go.
Clean up crew.
See, over here, here's where we took our videos before we flew the drone over here, I think, Jen. Right up on this high point. There's just nothing built up here. Nothing. Nada. Take a walk up there and just show people off the front of that.
I think up top there, isn't that where we took the video
we all
of
the
the
way up there?
fences?
Maybe, I'm not sure. I don't know if we were that high. Maybe you flew the drone here.
Because that's where they got the new home built. Remember they were like having a party?
Oh yeah, here it is. Here's the fountain.
They were having a party. They're building a new home there now.
I remember. Yeah, we were at the highest point here.
When we were...
Like a $5 million home here.
We were looking at... the people were like...
Yeah, here it is. It's like a $5 million. You still have people riding through looky-loo. Not long. All right. Is it gone again? Am I still live? I should be. Oh, yay, back again. Yay! Here we are. This place was amazing. This was amazing. The fountain.
That's the home here where they just bought the lot either or something.
Yeah, well, they're still working over there on the home.
They're not building the big ass home.
Yeah, thank you guys for being along today. We appreciate it. If you're enjoying the stream, please take a second to just hit the thumbs up button. We really appreciate that. Okay, yeah, it should be good. This is like the highest point in the city here. They're still working away over here. Yeah, you can see our old videos I walked through. There was part of a home structure left here. Well, thank you, Larson. I appreciate you being on. I really do. You could be doing a lot with your Sunday, and you're spending it with us. Thank you. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. This is what it looks like 15, well, what do we got, 13 and a half months after the fires. This is what paradise will be going through. All the foundations have to be removed. Nothing is usable. You're welcome. Hey Kelly, how you doing? Looking forward to seeing you in a few weeks. Be down in Vegas with Kelly. Look at the view. You got the lake down there. Do you imagine the high life living here? So we know exactly what paradise is feeling. It's like somebody rebuilding here, putting their Spanish tiles on, roof tiles. They'll always rebuild with wood. Concrete and steel. The foundations, actually they found out, Larson, that a lot of people really bitched about this. They wanted to use the existing foundation. But when they did some testing on the foundations, they found out that the heat was so intense. Now remember, aluminum was melting, guardrails were melting, that the moisture that was left in the concrete when you pour it was taken to such a high temperature that it created internal cracks in the foundation. So the Army Corps of Engineers came in and determined that every single foundation had to be removed, and 6 inches of topsoil had to be removed from every single home site and taken away. They carted out, must have been probably 250,000 loads of topsoil. Very strict requirements. So my guess is the people that have this site, they were taken off somewhere to the Central Valley and just put in a big landfill out there. Enormous landfill, because there was so much toxic plastics and material. Yeah, it was shocking to people. this was like a $5 million home here. Just one home site. Yeah, eventually you're probably right, Kelly. The solar panels. Some people are really ignorant. They just throw shit through them. I remember we 8 months ago when they were just starting this rebuild. A lot of people living in RVs and stuff. Here's your screensaver of the day. Maybe that's a better one. Yeah, the plastic egg. Well, a lot of these people, you know, in the having house prices go up is a great thing, and it's something that California generally enjoys. But the problem is, when the house goes up in value and the cost of rebuilding goes up with it, then the big problem is that people find themselves underinsured when it's time to rebuild. And a place like this, you could theoretically be $1 million short to rebuild it, a $5 million home. You know, $300 a square foot. You know, actually, perversely, property values rose because of the dire shortage of housing in this area. Now real estate's cooled off everywhere around the U.S. I'm a little worried we're going into a recession now. This must be another pool. We'll wander over here. Yeah, fear of fire and earthquakes, and here we are in an area with terrible ones. My big hairy arms. Not much hair on my arms. Let's look down the valley of death here. Jen's a real gutsy drone pilot. She flew that drone right through the wires here, fearlessly, and backed it up through them. Crazy. Oh, okay. Kelly, that's funny as hell. That might be your screensaver of the day over there. I'm not sure. Yeah, they didn't. You know why? Because we had better forest management. We had a smaller population base. Everything was burned. Everything that you see here on this valley, both sides, was just consumed in flames. That horrible night of the 8th into the 9th of October 2017, excuse me. And strangely, the fire took the same path, almost exact footprint as the 1964 fire. Of course, there weren't that many people around in '64. And you actually had kids from the Santa Rosa Junior College out there fighting the fire on the front lines and stuff. How you doing, Colleen? Nice pool. These people were lucky. Hey, Laura, how are you? There's a few things being rebuilt over on the hills, but where there used to be 1,000 homes, there's maybe 100 being built. think this house was actually a survivor, believe it or not, Beryl. Some people were lucky. What saved them? You know what saved them? I'm going to show you exactly what saved them. The golf course being down there was a perfect break. It was an absolutely perfect fire break there. So if they were on this side of the hill, then they were saved. This guy got it because the fire was coming up over the hill. Yeah, there's some miracle homes. We'll see a couple of them as we head down. Get your screensaver of the day. There you go. Let's catch up with Missy Jen. Yeah, strategic at burning of vegetation, also logging. You know, I'm an environmentally conscious person. Jen and I, we recycle. We think about the environment, but we also know that not every tree can be left alone or not taken down or removed from a forest. And you have people that lay on bulldozers and you know the California story, people living in trees to save them from being cut down. I mean, it's just ridiculous shit. Paradise, California is a victim of a lot of that poor forestry management. This city was just a victim of bad luck. Power line down, sweeping fire over the hill. I'll put you back on the stick with Missy Jen. Okay. Plug in again, Jen. Put you back on the stick here. I'm gonna hit that button so we'll charge up the phone. There we go. Put you back on the stick. So, yeah, Missy Jen isn't very environmentally conscious, but we know that forests have to be maintained. They have to be logged. Not every tree can be hugged. Right, Jen?
We used to manage forests in Missouri. We lived out in the country, out at the farm. We had timber around. We burned the leaves every year before the fall. We raked everything. We cut the underbrush out. We did our forest management. Even all the neighbors got together, even for miles around, and help each other burn leaves and stuff and burn the underbrush. I was thinking about that last night.
Fireplace there. Outdoor fire pit.
Yeah, there's still the barbecue grill too.
Barbecue grill still there?
Yeah. But
there wasn't much to worry about. Looters, there wasn't anything left.
I was thinking about that last night, and we took care of that stuff. We helped each other out there in Missouri. We was out in the country there. Every fall season, we made sure all the leaves were burned.
Here's somebody wants to sell their site here.
Underbrush cut and everything. Here, if you want to cut a tree or anything,
oh my God, you need permits.
You have to have a permit and everything, and then it takes forever just to cut a branch off a tree off. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, whose ass do you got to kiss to get a tree taken down?
Here's a place that's getting built, a new place. One lonely place. I'm gonna tell you, one lonely place gonna be up here. There's gonna be nothing over here.
There's just nothing rebuilt up here,
It's all
Jen.
burned
that
over
is
there.
so rare that somebody's actually rebuilding. Most of these people are like, just get me the hell out of here, This is the hill. You can see how steep it is. The fire just roared up this thing. These folks didn't have a chance.
Somebody's building here next to them, so they at least have a neighbor. And actually, Well, no, I think they just had a part of the building over there survive.
Yeah, some people, very few people were really lucky.
Part of it.
Very lucky.
Part of it made it.
But most people were pretty much wiped out.
But yeah, it's over here.
Yeah, just
Somebody's building over there on top of the hill.
here's another person who just wants to sell their thing.
Yep.
This is what it looks like 13 months after a devastating fire. Here you go. Insurance companies, lawyers, gas and electric company. You know who's getting rich off of this shit? The lawyers are.
How much for a lot? A lot like this, probably $400,000.
Yeah, two to 300,000. They probably ask for that lot.
This lot here is probably $500,000. Because this
Remember
is a big lot up here.
The higher you go, the higher the values are. These driveways are, we don't get any icing here or anything, but that'd be a treacherous driveway to get up there. You know.
You gotta be crazy to live here.
I wouldn't live up here.
You gotta be totally
I
nuts.
sure as hell.
You gotta be nuts to live here.
What these builders do, you'll notice that there's signs for builders here, but they tell you it might be 2 years, it might be 3 years, but we'll stake out, we'll commit to building your home, but we probably can't do it for a couple years, but we'll stick our sign there.
Yeah.
You can look down there, Jen, see some of that shit down there. This just goes on for miles through the valley, all the way over to Napa County and the town of Calistoga.
That's just a lot that'll cost you that much, and then you have to start building a house.
Yeah, if you can find a contractor, because let me tell you, it's a seller's market for contractors.
That lot here probably is at least 300,000. Because it goes up on top and...
Yeah. I think I'm just
It's
going to
got a
kind of back
gazebo.
out of here.
Yeah,
I don't
you
want to
don't-
run over something.
You don't want to run into the trash pile here.
Yeah.
This is where the house once was, right here. We're already actually in where the house was. We're in their hallway, former hallway.
You have to help me continue to nub my way out of here.
Careful, don't go too far. There's
Okay.
a drop off.
All right.
We get stuck, we're done. We'll have to get a crane to get us out of here.
I know, I'm just trying not to scrape the side back here. Am I clear of that wall?
You can go still a little.
Am I clear?
Yeah.
Boy, this is, I'm sorry I pulled up this son of a bitch.
Yeah, I'm sorry
Shit.
too. This is not.
This ain't good. This
This
ain't
was
good right here.
This was a bad idea.
This was a bad idea.
We literally pulled.
Good job, Rosie. You've done it
We
again.
literally pulled into the hallway of the former house.
Spirits and spooks. Let's get the hell out of here.
All of a sudden, I had this really eerie feeling.
What the hell was that?
Ah,
Shit. Fuck.
shit! Don't do that again, please.
Won't do that again. Gotta be riding with my fucking brake on too. Alright.
Oh man,
How'd that feel?
that was not good. My hemorrhoids exploded. Yeah, Beryl said, don't jolt the message in.
Don't joke the Rosie girl.
Look at the chemtrail sky, too.
That was a hell of a
Wow.
jolt too.
Look at that.
I got a nice cheap van.
Yeah, this is just
It's just a way. It's just a big rich person's wasteland now. That's all it is up here.
yeah, those people here, they're gonna be excited for a while to be here, and then they're gonna be sorry that they built a house here.
Yeah, because remember this fire that happened in 2017, in 1964, there was the exact same footprint the fire had, except that this one went much deeper into the city because it's a much bigger urban area now.
Well, we got now a warning system, a new warning system in place, Sonoma County, SoCo, that's supposed to warn via television, telephone,
Yeah, new county, countywide warning system.
landline and cell phone. Look at that. That's what hell looks like right there.
Nice view over the lakes down there. It's a good thing that retirement, that's all a retirement community on the hill over there. Thousands of retirees. It's a good thing that didn't. That's really amazing, Jen. That never flamed out over here. Everything's burned out up on the hill. Over there still. Just to give you guys an idea, 13 months later,
yeah, a lot of it is untouched.
rebuilding is very slow. Legal issues, insurance,
It's very
environmental issues, safety issues.
It's just yeah, it's just
It's a lot to think about.
this is only a few minutes away from the rancho. Like 10 minutes from the rancho.
Yeah, we packed up, but we actually packed up 3 times when during the course of the fire event over a week. Winery that burned over here, Paradise Ridge, they're still closed. That's really the only winery that burned. Most of the other wineries have very large fields of grapes around them, vineyards, and that really protected them. That was a great fire break.
Well, I don't think we'll have any fires anymore. Actually, we did have, was that in Healdsburg? A 2-acre fire broke out. Was that Saturday at 2 a.m.? But they jumped on that and they put it out fast. But I am I'm anticipating, I'm praying that we don't need a bug-out bag.
A couple people in the chat said we should think about moving.
Okay, have a good night, Beryl. Love you.
Yeah, take care, Beryl. But like I said, Missy Jen really loves the rancho there, so she's all settled in and she's comfortable there. And we'll pop across the other side of the highway. We'll get a look at.
Hi, classy redhead.
We'll see what's going on over at the fancy areas a little closer to ground here. It's a miracle house there. That one house that survived up there. I'll never know how. Then we'll show them. The last thing we'll do, we'll show them where the round barn was, the Fountain Grove round barn.
Coffee Park. We haven't been in Coffee Park lately. We did drone flights in Coffee Park when it was completely gone.
We'll get over there.
And we were there a few months after, and they actually started a house.
Okay, again, not really much done over here.
There's a house.
Around. Just a lot of cleared sites over here.
Is that the Miracle House there?
Yeah, that's the Miracle House there.
The gray one.
Yeah.
They made a feature film.
Hey, Kookie.
They made a feature film about that house.
Yeah. It's another place with fancy, dancy views.
Yeah,
And these people are rebuilding and they just want to sell it.
yeah, for sale. New house and then
It's all the builders staking out. They just can't tell you when. Yeah, I know, but I just, like I said, I have to take Missy Jen into consideration too. And the fact that she's very comfortable in the rancho and loves the rancho. This is what I call the Miracle House here. When I did the original bid fire, this was the only house that was standing. Yeah, contractors, well, rebuilding for property owners, they rebuild it and I'm just going to sell it. This house was untouched. I'll never understand why, how. Somebody else wants to sell the lot. Look at some of the views here. All of my videos post fire down in the playlist on the main page, front page of the channel. If you want to see what it looked like walking through here the day after the fire. I don't know what the theory is on the pools. It's like for concrete or something. I don't know, washing off tools. Yeah, I'm gonna ask her. Oh, I'm gonna slip down the fucking hill. Oh shit. Oh, that felt good on my knee. Yeah, it's amazing to me that one house in this particular street I mean, I got no idea. I came up here and I was just floored that day when I drove up here. This looks like it might be some forms for concrete. Yeah, those people are blessed. There's some story about the guy was like a Christian minister and just got down on his knees that night with the fire raging all around this whole area. They're telling him to run. He just dropped to his knees and prayed to be spared. No, the fire roared right. The fire went right over this hill from way over out that valley back here, roaring down the hill and into the city of Santa Rosa, leaped over the main highway 101, went to the other side and wiped out 1,500 homes on that side of the highway. Remember, there were 70-mile. Some of the wind speeds were measured at 90 miles an hour over some of the bridges that night. That fire was advancing a football field every 5 minutes. People barely had time to just scrape their clothes together on their back and get the hell out of the house. Make sure I didn't do any damage hopping over that silly little wall. Make sure I didn't puncture anything. Looks good. All right. Put you back in Missy Jen's hands and we'll vamoose. That's
is that it?
Yeah, that's it. I'm plugged back in here, so I've got multiple power sources, so that's fine. We're plugged in here. All right, Missy Jen back on the stick. So yeah, we just thought you'd be interested today, and 13 months later, what happens to a major city when a big chunk of it is wiped out by fire? I remember standing on the street here doing video. Luckily I had a press pass, and the woman from, you can see it in the video, the woman from ABC News was set up on that small wall right up there broadcasting the story on the evening news there in her yellow ABC coat. I think that's about all we're going to be looking at today. I'm sorry for the interruption. Something happened on the YouTube. Had some kind of glitch or something. So we want to thank you guys for being on the stream today and hanging out with us. And we'll see you on the next stream. Tell everybody thanks.
Thank you, and have a good one. Here's a new foundation. This new system.